There was another press conference that took place just yesterday of a new head coach in Los Angeles. There's a couple sound bites that certainly need to be heard before we end up talking to the man that said them. Here's Jim Harbaugh chit-chatting about Justin Herbert and the team that he has around him with Derwin James and Keenan Allen.
Justin Herbert, you see, I mean, he's as well said on that video. I mean, he's a crown jewel in the National Football League. Derwin James, there's another one. Talk about somebody getting me fired up. I mean, let's go. Justin Herbert walks up on you, like, okay, all right. This is
okay, all right. This is awesome. And obviously, the buzz and electricity that surrounds this man seemingly everywhere he goes is a big deal. And it's not all glitz and glamour, though. He talked about L.A. and Southern California and wanting a winner. And then he started describing his team and how they're going to get there. And he said, work, just blue collar. We're going to work. There's no real magic to it. This is actually a conversation about what he did in the weight room the first day he was in the building.
The weight room we're getting it cleaned up right now. We're getting it all set. Had a great day just yesterday. I mean, talk about fulfillment. I mean, going in there to Home Depot and getting the shop vac, and I feel like I'm back at USD. I mean, let's get this thing right. Let's get it good. When these players come in here, then everything's organized, and they're going to see that things are changing. Things are different, and we want to get into that center of player development, that weight room, and let's have at it. It's you hungry? You want to eat? I mean, this is an all-you-can-eat buffet right here. So let's get that work in, and that's what the players have been saying back to me. Let's get it, coach. So.
I love him. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the new head coach of Los Angeles Chargers, reigning national champion as a Michigan man and the Michigan Wolverines head coach last season, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Coach!
Coach.
Thank you, Pat.
You're the man, dude. Hey, listen, you are hey, Jim, thank you for being the human you are and representing football the way that you do, Jim. Genuinely. I've got a chance to learn a lot about you over this last year, these last couple months, more specifically with the college football playoff, and then you getting back into the NFL. You are everything that is great with football, Jim. I just want you to know that before we start this conversation.
Well, appreciate those kind words, and just humble, hungry, ready to attack.
Yeah, and that seems to be the message for every press conference you have. Attack and dominate the day. And you gave a shout out to your dad and your mom. Football is, I think you described it as like you play, you coach, then you die. At what point did you realize that? Was that like whenever you were like 8, 9 years old? Or when did you know this was going to be your life as a whole?
6 years old. It was when I was in kindergarten. We were taking a bus to school, and I remember getting off the bus one school day and pretending I was a football player, getting off the bus to go into the stadium. And I think that's when it hit me. It's like, this is definitely what I'm going to do. I'm gonna play as long as I can, then I'm going to coach. And then eventually die. I remember having that thought at 6 years old.
Hey, there's a chance you're never going to die, by the way, with modern technology and your work ethic. Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, what was that transition like from a player to a coach? I think you were working for your dad's staff at Western Kentucky while you were still playing, but was that a tough transition going from player to coach?
Yeah, I think it took about 1 year to get up to speed. Definitely the playing football, there was an advantage. That's what I had been doing, up until that point, like 20 years, college plus as a pro player, 5 as a college, 15 as a pro football player. But to really be a coach, every day working at the Oakland Raiders, Bill Callahan was the head coach, Al Davis, the owner. 2 years there, felt like 4. Just because there was so much work to do, and I was really low on the totem pole. Quality control coach, breaking down the tape, drawing the pictures. Really learning. Mentors like Mark Trestman, Bill J. Norvell. All these great guys. Especially Mr. Davis. Watching every play, every tape. He sometimes, I mean, I have so many great stories of, I was running the scout team at one point, and he called me, and he was watching the tape and noticed that we had 12 in the huddle. I mean, wow. I mean, this is there's just a level of detail when you're a coach that I had to learn the technology. But yeah, one year I would say to any player, you're gonna really lean on that playing career, because you know how to do it. You can put your body in those positions and visualize it, and then be able to explain and teach to a player. Probably takes about a year to get up to speed.
Yeah, and that year with the Raiders, I assume if it's anything like anybody else's quality control time, you're getting coffee, you're fixing the, I don't even know if there's a printer, no offense, I don't know, fax machines back then, everything like that. That is a very low on the totem pole job. You got to earn your stripes in the coaching business. And you said in the press conference yesterday that when you went and took the USD job after, as a Chargers player, going and seeing it and telling them, if you ever need a head coach, when I'm done, I would love to be the head coach. You said in the press conference yesterday, there's a story with Al Davis. Whenever you told him you were going to go be the head coach of Al Davis, did he call you crazy? Did he say, what are you doing? Was he pumped about you going and doing that and getting a chance to see you and quarterback from USD, Josh Johnson? The other day before the game was a beautiful thing, kind of a full circle moment for your career, I think, as we looked on. But what was Al Davis's thoughts whenever you got the head job at USD and you left the Raiders?
Yeah, so Mr. Davis, I mean, probably a couple other stories before that, but you really had to think out how you were going to say something, what you were going to say. It needed to be thought out, because the man is such a visionary and just, I mean, off the charts, so much more evolved than anybody I've ever met in football. But when I did go in to tell him, I said, Mr. Davis, I want to go be the head coach at University of San Diego. And he said to me, I thought we brought you here to be a head coach. I thought we brought you here to be an NFL coach. Why are you going there? So I had my answer thought out, and I said, well, Mr. Davis, I've studied your career, and I know you started as a college football coach, and I wanted to emulate you in your career. And he said, yeah, but that was USC, not USD.
That's a fan. Why do you think, now leading to that point, and Al Davis being a guy that's able to do that, not a lot of people have been able to coach both college and NFL. Not a lot of people have been able to relate to the players. Why do you think you've been able to have success, and what are the differences, and how long do you think it's going to take for you to get back into the I'm coaching adults mode, or do you change it all for any of it?
Well, there's a lot there, a lot of great things to think about. But, I mean, there's been a lot that have. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll. Young in my career, I remember Dave Adolph, who was also a coach that coached both college and pro. And I put Dave Adolph on the level of Jack Harbaugh and John Harbaugh, one of the greatest coaches of all time. That was Dave. So much I do in coaching is because of Dave Adolph and how he did it. So I think there are lots of coaches who have done it and done it very well. I mean, bottom line is, there are no great coaches. There are no good coaches that don't have good players. So that's the main thing. You need to to get better. You got to, the players have to be better. You have to either, draft them, sign them, or coach them to be better. Those are the only two things. Difference in college and pro players, really not that much different, other than the pro players. I mean, they're the best. I mean, they're the best college players. AJ, you know it. I mean, if you get to become a pro player and make a pro team, you're the best of the best. You were the most coachable in college. You worked the hardest. You were the most disciplined. It meant the most to you. And so it's like you're breathing the same air. And not that the college players aren't that. They just, you just have to train them, to get there. And not all make it. Don't have the talent and the effort to make it to that. But these guys are pros. I mean, they're pros, and it's challenging because they've had good coaches in their past. Maybe they even had their favorite coach, might have been their high school coach or their college coach. So, it's a level of, what goes through my mind right now is just, you got to really bring it. I mean, I gotta be good. I gotta be accountable. I gotta be, walking into a room, coaching Justin Herbert. Boy, I better know my stuff. I better have looked at all the tape. I better make this system clean. And every time he steps out of a quarterback meeting, then he's got clarity. It's clean, concise, and then he can go take it to the field. So yeah, it's a big challenge. And right now, getting that coaching staff, put together, just want an all-star staff, want experts at each position, especially coaching the quarterback. But every spot, there is no weak link. You're only as strong as your weakest link. I think is a pretty good, realistic. Call it a cliche, but truth, facts. So lot going on right now, Pat and AJ, and I got to tell you this: that interview with you did with Tom Brady the other day. I mean,
why are you watching that, Jim? Don't be watching that. Don't be, Jim. You got other stuff. Don't be watching our dumbass show, Jim. You're a good. You said there's a lot of people that are good in college.
That was not dumbass. That was as real as it gets. And you said some of the things I said. I mean, there's no magic, recipes or secret sauce formulas. I mean, it's hard work, good old fashioned hard work and good old fashioned teamwork. And Tom laid it out as well as it can be laid out. Work, teamwork. That's what makes the dream work. Accountability. I mean, that interview you did with Tom. I mean, that should be content that every young football player, college football player, pro football player studies.
Jim, I mean, I'm mind blown right now that you even watched it and you said those very nice things. But thank you, obviously. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. But
I was right there. I was right there with my 11-year-old son, Jack. Watching this, I go, Jack, are you hearing this?
Jack, don't listen to this show, Jack. Jack, this is that interview, but don't listen to the rest of the show. And I want to go back to the beginning of your answer there.
Archive that one, please.
Yes. Yeah. All right. We'll put a star on it. We'll send it over to you. We'll get the clip to the office. We've already seen that you've already done some upgrades at the Chargers facility. But what you said there at the beginning, you said there's a lot of guys that have been successful in college and in the NFL. You just went back 60 years. There's 10 people. You need to know that. You're special, Jim. You are very special. And that answer you just gave is a beautiful thing because I think that's what everybody wants from their coach. You just have an ability to implement it and execute it at all levels. It's a beautiful thing. We're lucky you're here. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach,
John Harbaugh is another name. John Harbaugh started as a college coach, Miami of Ohio. Went to school there, Cincinnati, Morehead State, Indiana. He was very successful in both college and pro.
Had a baby, John. The Harbaugh family can coach him up, no doubt. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, I know you play against your brother again this year. How do you guys game plan against each other? What is that like? Do you communicate during the week? What are you going to do? Do you already have a game plan going in?
I mean, now you're talking about. I mean, they're one of the toughest competitors in every way. I mean, there's the great guy John Harbaugh. I know the competitor. I know the edge. I know just the sheer will. I mean, and it just pulls it out of you. It pulls it out of you. You got to be at your absolute best. His team's going to be just tougher than heck to beat, and so it pulls it out of you. It's one of those things where one of the great competitions, and it practically every team you play against in the NFL is that way.
Jim, let's talk about the teams that you've had in the NFL in the past. And I think a lot of people would say you were way ahead of time with the way you ran that San Francisco 49ers offense, with everything that's happening now with RPOs. The college game is becoming the pro game, and it has been. But it feels like physicality has come all the way back in football. If we look at your Michigan team that just won a national championship, it was like, Hey, that was a hard-nosed team. Remember, college was supposed to be wide open.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to the quarterback. There's a lot of some confusion, misdirection. We're airing it out. Your team was just physical. It was obviously talented team in the weight room, more out, schemed and motioned and huddled and confused. It was a professional outfit, but it does feel like physical football is all the way back. Is one of the reasons why you took the Chargers job is because Herbert's able to play that particular style of football? And how much do you think your team is going to resemble what the Niners looked like back in the day when you were ahead of this curve when it came to NFL football?
Oh man, there's that's so much great stuff there. I mean, it all goes back to Vince Lombardi, right? I mean, football, blocking and tackling, and there was a time there in college football that where it was getting all this wide open stuff and saw a real opportunity, some real low hanging fruit. If they zig, we'll zag. We'll be the yin to their yang. I mean, we'll just come out and get a heck of a lot more physical. And things have, you see it in the there's not that advantage currently in pro football. I mean, everybody realizes you got to play defense. You got to be able to run the ball. You better be able to play good up front and protect the quarterback. You better be all out on special teams. So there's not too much low hanging fruit right there. I mean, I see that's the pro game. As for Justin Herbert, there's no style of football that he wouldn't excel at. I mean, if you want to talk RPOs, if he was just going to be a running quarterback, he could be that. Drop back, pocket passer. I mean, he's got the potential to be the absolute best at that. He could probably go play tight end and be a Pro Bowl tight end.
Kicker. He can kick, coach. He can kick.
We got a pretty good kicker here right now, but yeah, there's no question. I mean, he could be your punter. He could be your kicker. He would be a tremendous edge rusher. I mean, it's
that size.
Yeah, the length. Quarterback. We know we have a great one, and I really was, in that press conference yesterday, really also just sending a message. Some that hopefully many heard it, which is, coaches, potential coaches here for the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, we have got to protect this man, his environment, both on the field, off the field, in the meeting room, and it's gonna have to be come here. I mean, you got to be up for the challenge, man enough to coach a talent like Justin Herbert and the rest of the team up front, offensive line. I mean, we're relying on. I mean, every position group relies on the offensive line. Defensively, I mean, we got to be able to, get teams stopped, get turnovers, get field position. Special teams, we're improving here. Run game, play action. We've got to attack it all and get really good at football if we're going to accomplish the goals that we want.
Man,
and our players want it.
Yeah, everybody seems to want over there. Justin Herbert, listening to you talk, by the way, and he's super quiet, humble, obviously, and I think people say he has a phenomenal personality and great work ethic. There's nothing but hearing your head coach, though, come in and be like, hey, this is what we need to build it. We're lucky to have it. That's huge for him. You know that, though, right? Whenever you're saying it all. And is that always going to be a goal? Because Mike Greenberg told us a story that was like, you're at a funeral, rest in peace to whoever passed away.
Great Ira Harris.
Okay. This is the first time we've learned about this. Rest in peace to Ira Harris.
Yes, sir.
Moment of silence for Ira Harris.
Great man.
Moment has passed. Rest in peace. Okay, at that funeral, Mike Greenberg said that you guys started a conversation, and he said, unprompted, you came out and were just talking about Justin Herbert being like the next generation of what a football player is supposed to be. Like, absolute love affair with Justin Herbert. Obviously, you have a connection to the Spanos family and to the Chargers as you played there. But he was basically saying, while you were still in college, not even thinking about the NFL at this standpoint, but looking ahead at the NFL, you're like, Justin Herbert's guy, Justin Herbert's guy. After meeting him, talking to him, seeing him, obviously you looked up at him. Has that grown? What has it been about Justin Herbert, and how has it been with Justin Herbert since meeting him here, since taking the head coaching job?
Yeah, I mean, going back to that time, I remember the conversation well with Greeny, and we were talking about JJ McCarthy and what I thought of JJ McCarthy. I just think he's tremendous, and I was comparing him to some of the people I thought like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and some of the great quarterbacks that are in the league, and definitely we got off onto Justin Herbert. There's no secret here, right? I mean, everybody knows how great of a player he is, right? I mean, you just have to watch. And Lamar, those four were the ones I was comparing JJ to at the time. But there's another level there with Justin Herbert that just gifted, mom, dad, and God, and the way you see him, some of the games he's played. I mean, it's just tough, and people hit Justin. You notice that, and he just big hits, and he just down, and then he pops back up. You never see him complain about a late hit or anything. It's like he just shrugs it off like it's not even an issue when he gets hit in the boundary or late, and maybe he doesn't get some of the calls he should because he doesn't. But some of the fourth down pickups he's made. I mean, the pressure situations. Yeah, well, that was the kind of conversation we were having with Greeny that day.
So whenever you two it feels like you said the yin to the yang. When people yang, we're gonna yang. When zig, we're gonna zag. Feels like you and Herbert, I probably see football the same way, if I had to guess. And do you feel like it's a perfect fit? I feel like it is. From outside looking in, everything that Herbert potentially needs comes in the form of one coach who's a little bit more demanding, commanding, understands him potentially a little bit more. Do you feel like it's a perfect fit now that you've got to be around each other a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the organization, the Spanos family, everybody I've met here in the organization that wants to work, wants to win. I mean, our owner, Dean Spanos, is here every single day. He's like one of the first in the building and the last to leave. I think John Spanos is a star. I think Ed McGuire, who was here when I was here, really nobody knows the cap better. Joe Ortiz, he just came on board the other night. And the players, Derwin James. I mentioned some of these guys I'm having conversations with that are getting me fired up and inspired. And Keenan Allen. I mean, some of the guys that are best. Joey Bosa. Back and forth talking to him. Khalil Mack, Austin Eckler. Meeting some of the offensive linemen. Zion Johnson, just met him today. I mean, great looking guys walking through the door. And Justin. I think we do. I think we have a lot in common. I think we share a very important asset of being relentless.
Well, we have been relentless in an opportunity to potentially get a chance to chat with you on this program, and we are incredibly thankful you're back in the NFL and that you joined us today. Good luck with everything, and keep that shop vac going over there, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Hey, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Coach.